wrong. He's not wrong.
Hey friends, this is Patrick Maloney. I'm inside the amazing new shop. It's a record shop in downtown Riverside, and I want to make sure I get it right. It's the Penrose Record Room. Not shop, it's the room, everybody.
That's
now,
us.
guys, this is Matt. This is Gabe. Two amazing musicians, local heroes here in Riverside, but we need to talk about the shop here first. So, guys, tell me what was the impetus and why you guys opened this in downtown Riverside?
I was at Gabe's house about 5-6 months ago. We were sitting around working on songs and talking about music, and he kind of posed the question, hey man, would you ever, work in a record store again, and what do you think about that? And I said, sure, if the situation was right. And he said, well, what do you think about opening a record store? And I said, oh, that's a whole different situation. And he said, well, what do you think about building a record store? So that was it, man. We just wanted to give back to the community, and it seemed like the next logical step for us. We spent 30 years making records, and to be on the other side of it and see how it affects folks, it's wonderful. And we thought, what better way to do that than in our own backyard in a building that Gabe already has his studio in and makes all the recordings in. So we thought this would be perfect opportunity, man.
And Gabe has a huge history in Riverside and is such a local ambassador for local music in the IE in Riverside. Gabe, what does it feel like to also be in this amazing... Well, I always think of this place as the old Scientology place, but we're not going to talk about that here. This is a very special building, but we'll have to talk about the building another time. But what made you just say, hey, this is the place, downtown Riverside? I know I was so excited seeing your records at the Cheech right across the street, but seeing it here, what made you want to come here more than anything? Is it the location or just the fact that you have obviously the studio upstairs?
Man, this is home. We got the studio upstairs. We've been recording all the Penrose recordings we've done upstairs, a lot of the Daptone recordings we've done upstairs. It's right here in the middle of downtown Riverside, where I born and raised, and I raised my kids and my family. And I got a lot of pride to the city, and it felt good to be right in the heart of downtown, and just feels good. I like records. I like listening to records. I like buying records. I like selling records. I like trading records. I like watching people listen to records. So
no joke.
Right.
It's funny because I'm having flashbacks of when I used to work at a little record store down the street. I'm so excited because I'm here with these two awesome guys. As you can see, I need to get my caffeine in me. Oh wait, maybe not. I remember back in the day seeing you guys search for records inside like Mad Platter and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember the other place that the gentleman changed over. There was like CD Roll, but that wasn't the same as this kind of stuff. There were so many different places. I remember even there was Licorice Pizza, but I don't know if you guys are that old.
Years ago, yeah. We had it at the end of town.
And then the very first record shop I worked at was in Carlsbad, California, which was called Spin Records. Mm-hmm. But I remember I saw Matt showing up to all these places picking out stuff. He'd either be there with, his old guitar player, who, rest in peace, we love you and miss you so much, or Howie as well, which also rest in peace. You were always at crazy places finding records, or pawn shops, or even the little, there was little vintage places downtown that you could sometimes find cool records, and he'd buy all the good ones. I would go, oh man, there's a cool Dead Kennedys with the orange cover. He's like, nope, I got it, it's mine.
No, truth be told, we're just selfish. We just wanted to make a place to hang out in again, like we grew up in, and we said, he and I both have different stories, but we the same situation where we would go digging for records, and you go to a record shop and they would encourage you to listen to records and hang out, and they'd never throw you out. And if you rated the 99-cent bin for 3 hours, they were fine with it. And really, that's what we want to do. We kind of wanted to make a spot for kids to come dig in. And I'll be honest with you, we've been open 3 weeks, and folks come in here with their kids and their parents, and it's a whole grandparent, parent, child dig, and everybody's getting different eras. And
I was here at the opening. It was amazing. It was packed. I even saw council member Erin Edwards here with her family. Yep. Several VIPs showed up. You've been having VIPs show up. Some of my favorite local legends. The Bell Rays were here the other day, so it was great seeing them here. Sure. I saw Mr. Jello Biafra stop by. I know he has great taste in records. And
he's got a nose for records, man. He found out we had opened a shop, and he decided to come down and do some digging. But we just want to have something for everybody. I can't stress enough. Even though Gabe and I are locals and we've been musicians for a long time, we have oldies, we've got newies, we got stuff for the kids, we got...
Get some Dick Dale.
Yep.
You guys played the last Dick Dale show here in Riverside.
Right around the corner. Yeah, Gabe was actually even on that bill with us. He played bass on that gig that was right around the corner at the Marriott Hotel when we played with Dick.
Well, you guys might not be old enough, but they had a riot downtown in the 80s back in the day. But
Raincross Square, yeah, sure.
And then one of my favorite records I want to pick up today, It's a new Vicky one. Everybody check this out. Tell me a little bit real quick about this one.
What do you got? Is this the new
Moment?
Yeah, The Moment. We were lucky enough when we started playing showcases again. We were going through a little transition in the band, like you said, and when we were getting back out, we decided to kind of keep it small and intimate behind Vicky, and it was myself and Gabe Rowland backing her up, and that was the first time Gabe had really heard her sing a lot of the rhythm and blues stuff live. And he felt very, very passionately about that, and so does Vicky. They both have a real shared love for that era of rhythm and blues, Lil Willie John, and some of the great singers. And Gabe just said, you know what, man, I think I would really love to capture her doing that kind of a thing, and kind of challenged us to write a couple songs in that vein. And it was a challenge, but we tried to rise to it and played it for Gabe, and he said, man, beautiful, man, let's record it. And we felt great about it. And it's way more of a rhythm and blues based recording, kind of just exploring those roots. Vicky's always had those roots, and it was a great challenge to write in that style. And that's our newest single on the Penrose record label. We're very, very, very proud of the way it came out. Got to implement some new instruments on it. We have a piano player in the group now, and it features piano on there. It's really, really, really well done. And I think that's just to both Gabe and Vicky's taste. They have a knack for
Mostly it just features Vicky singing her ass off.
That's
Yeah,
right.
she's amazing. I mean, she's over there somewhere, but she's not getting on the film. But we just gotta say we love you, Vicky, so much. I gotta say something too that is very special. These gentlemen have always been very welcoming. Now, I've known Matt for a long time. I was a heavy metal, death metal guy showing up to their rockabilly shows. Never made me feel unwelcome. Always just made me feel welcome because they were great guys and they liked having people show up to their shows that weren't just of one genre,
Going
which
on
I
30
liked.
years now, man.
Now, I will say I was jealous. You guys always had better looking women than our death metal shows. Let's be honest.
Well,
You
yeah.
guys had great looking outfits. I just loved it. I was always jealous. I'm like, I want to be part of that scene, but I didn't need to dress it. I just needed to enjoy it, and that's what I always loved about you guys. Vince always called me the Mota King when I was a kid, so I remember how much that meant to me.
He wasn't lying. He wasn't lying.
He wasn't lying. That name has lived up with me for over the years. Also, by the way, just to tell people, back in the day, he was in a band called Los Infernos, and I literally followed them around for like 2-3 years because they were one of the baddest bands in downtown Riverside. You could check; they were playing everywhere, and
Play a lot.
I always thought, like, man, there were one album I would have killed to see, and I know it can't happen now, but I would have loved if Jello Biafra would have had you guys as like a background band for just a couple songs. I don't know why that. And I always thought, like, why didn't he get like the Reverend Horton Heat as a background band?
Well, here's the tidbit for your broadcast, man. I was talking to Joe the other day, and he might reissue Planet Chaos, so that might be in the works. And if it's on vinyl, you get it here at the Penrose Record Room.
Here's some crazy history. He didn't even have a copy of that CD a few years ago,
That's
and I had
true.
2 of them. So I gave him one of my copies,
Yeah,
and it was
very-
like, wow, that's.
Very generous. Yeah.
I love that record. I love both of them, but that was the one. Sadly, again, Steve passed away, but he produced that one. Is
Yeah,
that
he
correct?
did, yes, sir.
That's a pretty awesome record, and highly recommend. It also has one of my favorite lyrics I've ever heard ever in my life. It's "You can be what you want. It's all up to you. Be one of the lucky few." And that was them. They were positive. After this record, it kind of was heavy and dark. It ended on a very positive
Yeah,
light.
we try to have some wisdom in there every now and again between beers,
And then boy, he was a different cat back then. He's much
That's
more
true.
mellower now.
That's true.
I know we both are. I mean, I was a crazy kid back then. Now I'm like, I just want to be nice and mellow. I know you can't pick your favorite record that you've put out, but is there any record that you want to be remembered for releasing more than any other, or is there one that you just want to make sure people start their collection with?
No.
All of them. All of them. See, that's a hard one. It's like
That's a
picking a
hard
favorite child.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a few records that I made, like with Naomi Shelton and the Como Mamas and Son and Star. Some records I made that I was really proud of that I feel like they didn't quite, get out there as much as some of the other ones. But I'm proud of all of them, and none of them are perfect. So still working on them.
You know what? His records are amazing. Everything that he produces. I just want to talk about a show that you guys recently had. Didn't your show sell out at the RMA, or was it the Fox recently?
It was at the RMA, and not only did it sell out, but they added a night. The second night sold out too.
Yeah,
So,
2
yeah,
nights.
the first night sold out in a few hours. So it was pretty great, man. It was that whole Penrose showcase with all the bands, the Sacred Souls and the Altons and Vicky DeFoy, of course, and the Yesterdays and the Sinceres, right?
Yeah, it was the only Penrose showcase that we've done where we got all the groups on it, and it was 2 nights, and there was a great deal of pride in there for Gabe and myself that it was that one was held in Riverside in our backyard. It was at the RMA,
It was cool. It was cool to have it, a block from here.
Very, very cool.
A block from the studio, a block from the Cheech.
I would have been there, but I had to work. And whenever I miss their shows, I know I'm missing out. Because, look, they didn't just have one, they had two. So maybe next year we'll have three. Let's see what happens.
It's been growing. We've been blessed.
We've been talking about a lot of random things. I've been going off the rails today. Normally I wouldn't go this much off the rails, but I'm just having a blast. Also, we need to know, where is this record store? What's the address, guys?
The address is 3485 University Avenue, which is the corner of University and Lemon, is the Life Arts building. But you got to go around the corner on Lemon Street and come down to the basement. That's where we are. So the entrance is on Lemon Street between Mission and University.
It's legitimately a hidden gem here in Riverside and downtown. So if you're coming down for the festival lights, or if you're just downtown, make sure you spend an extra hour coming down here and checking out the records. And don't forget to bring money, because, man, it's easy to spend some cash in here. Last but not least, what record started you out? Do you remember what was the first record that you bought, like literally bought? And I still remember the first one.
The first record I bought when I was real little was probably like Disco Duck or some Rick Dees or something like that. It wasn't, it wasn't anything, I still, keep back the turntable or anything. But the record store that I hit up the most was actually, you remember Groove Time in San Bernardino?
I remember that, yeah. That was over by the Windjammer, right?
Yeah, next to it was Chandler's Windup. And he would just sell old jukeboxes. But he would take all the records out of the jukebox and would put them in the storage place behind there. Yeah. And that was the place I used to raid. And now you can talk about it because it's gone. But at the time,
hush hush.
It was hush hush. I didn't tell anybody about that. And I was buying records there for years.
Where there's jukebox, there's records.
I used to go in. I used to just go in there for hours, sometimes just days, and just dig and just come out with stacks and stacks of records.
I remember
I still have a lot of records that I bought there.
I remember the very first time going to the warehouse when I was a little kid and
I
seeing
remember
it. Was, I can remember the year. Oh yeah, I love the Plaza. It was in 1986. There was a giant mock-up of an Eddie from Iron Maiden. I didn't even know who Iron Maiden was, but I asked my parents, "Can I buy this with my money and get that record?" Just because of the record album cover, and I became a fan after that.
Sure.
And I think that's what started the big heavy metal one. They have
several.
killers over there. You got to pick that one. The second Iron Maiden record. There's another thing. What was your first record do you remember getting?
Well, again, if it depends on how far back you're going. If I go as far back as Gabe went, it's probably Chipmunk Punk or
How about it influenced you in a major way?
Well, I probably had two. I've always had one foot in punk rock and one foot in oldies. So I mean, the guitar influence stuff would have been probably a Link Ray or a Dick Dale or a Ventures record. It started me on that path. You know what I mean? And then, I've always loved, the greats, Little Richard, Ray Charles, stuff like that. But there's no gateway thing for me. It's like once it all comes flooding in, man. Once you discover music, it's like, man, it's like more like falling down a well than picking one thing off a shelf.
It is.
Oh yeah, you just keep bumping your head on stuff as you fall, man, and it's just great.
Awful.
It's great.
It's nice.
Falling down a well, bumping
great.
your head.
It's great.
You know what's nice though is I never in my life thought records were going to come back as big as they are right now.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'm so thankful that you guys have a shop down here. Now it's Matt Bell, Gabe Roth. I hope I remembered. Did I get it right? Okay.
Yeah, that's what
And then I got to mention one of my favorite memories from Matt right here. So just to end the show on something very special. Back in the day, my dad had a band called the Dirty Blues Band.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I couldn't
60s,
find the second record. I had the first one, couldn't find the second one. One day he showed up to my house and he gave me my dad's second record.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing is, where did that come from? Do you remember what collection it came out of?
Yeah, sure. I got it from Jello, and I was laughing about it when he gave it to me because he goes, "This is a Riverside record. You might be into it." And I said, "Well, not only is Rod Piazza still like a local legend. I know your dad played with him in the '60s and stuff in that group." I said, "Not only is this like Riverside lore," I said, "I'm actually really good friends with the organ player's son. Pat's dad plays B3 and he's played B3 since the '60s. Great B3 player."
I still have the B3 in my house.
And I said, Jello goes, "You have interest in this?" I said, "Not only do I have interest, I'm friends with this guy's son. I'm going to take him and give him the record." And I had told you that I don't have that one. So I just took and give you the record, and Pat gave me my old record, so it worked out.
It actually is probably my most treasured record because it's the hardest one to find.
Yeah,
and it
it's
was
tough.
because of Matt's hardcore hunting throughout the years and friendship with other record collectors that he was able to find that. I thank you both so much for taking time to be
thanks,
here.
Pat.
This is definitely a mixed show because we're doing Mission Riverside and Visit SoCal as one show mixed into two. But thank you for watching. This is Patrick Maloney. Please check out the shop. And oh, by the way, it's open from what is that? Wednesdays to Sundays?
Wednesdays to Sundays, 11 to 7.
And then is there any difference during festival lights, or just the same?
We might stay open if we got people in here.
That's definitely true.
The weekends, I'm sure they're going to stay an hour or two open if there's.
And
a lot
we
of
are
people.
going to have, if for all our Riverside locals, we are going to do extended hours on Art Walk. So every first Thursday of every month, going to be open till 9 o'clock as long as it goes.
And on Friday, Record Store Day, Black Friday after Thanksgiving, Friday coming up.
Yes, this
we're gonna
video is
throw it
coming
down.
out. Yeah, so
We're gonna
make
put
sure
it
to
down.
be here.
We're gonna have some artists performing. We're gonna have a lot of special stuff. We're gonna have a lot of new stuff in the bins, all kinds of stuff.
They
going
have
on.
a stage right back here, so don't miss out. I know Vicky's playing. Is that true?
That's
Yeah.
true.
Can I? I didn't know if I was supposed to say
That's
that.
true. But
Be-
we'll leak that one here live.
Yeah,
on
that.
there.
Make sure to show up for Black Friday. Would you recommend getting here about a half hour early before the doors open? Because there should be a line.
Sure.
I don't know.
Get here 2 hours early. Bring a bunch of money. Bring your credit cards.
Bring a
your
lunch.
Bring your family to buy some records too. And then
Like one fool out there in a tent. Like,
Great. It'd be great.
I am so thankful that you guys took the time with me today,
Absolutely.
and
Thank you for-
I hope
for
to
coming.
come back in a year or two, and we'll talk about the continued success here at this
Wonderful.
wonderful
Thank you
record
very
shop.
much, Pat.
Thanks, guys, and see you at the next one.
All right. Take care.